It's not double, it's Jameson triple. This is triple distilled, triple cask, bourbon, sherry, and walnut casks Irish whiskey. Welcome to the tasting room, where we drink adult beverages
and judge them.
I'm Brian.
I'm Derica.
And I don't know what to say this is, other than something I've never had before.
It's whiskey. Damn it, it's whiskey.
All right. We haven't done a whiskey yet, have we?
It's been a while.
This is our first whiskey on this show.
First actual honest-to-goodness whiskey. We've been messing
This is
up.
our first whiskey on this show. Yep. Peanut butter whiskey doesn't count. Fireball doesn't count. This is whiskey. I actually like Jameson, just straight up Jameson. Yeah. And then Jameson Black is actually really nice too. We saw this and I went, yeah, we got to try this. It says extra smooth layers of flavor. Velvety notes of toffee, cacao, and toasted almond with an extra drop of smoothness.
Nice.
See, those are notes that you don't normally associate with an Irish whiskey. That's really interesting.
Yeah. It's a 40%.
Yeah,
alcohol
40%. So it's a typical whiskey, you know. Has to be at least 40%.
They have this interesting picture on the back of the triple stills and the triple casks.
Yeah, all Jameson Irish whiskey is triple distilled. I think all Irish whiskey has to be triple distilled. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that, but a lot of it is.
We used to be pretty serious about our whiskey drinking, a little uppity, if you will.
Yeah.
We invested
too much money.
Quite a few.
We're gonna probably have to do that again.
Yeah, probably.
This channel, you know.
Oh man! But the one thing that I just love,
the smell
to this day, is the aroma on whiskeys. They have some really delightful, complicated aromas, and I'm talking about the full spectrum.
Toffee and biscuits. Now, when I say biscuits, I'm thinking like cookies in the UK.
But back to my aroma
sugar cookies.
Conversation. I like the aromas of all type of whiskey, whether it's bourbon, scotch, I don't care. They all smell fantastic, and they all smell unique to their own thing.
We do have to do a comparison of the different kinds of whiskey.
We will do that.
Actually, now that we're talking about it, let me ask, what kinds of whiskey do you guys want us to compare? Because we're trying to keep it generalized. I was thinking Canadian, American, bourbon, Scotch, Irish. I don't really want to get into Japanese whiskeys. We don't really drink them.
You were going to do bourbon and American?
They're different. They're not the same.
Okay.
I could leave out the American whiskey if you want.
Bourbon be.
Okay, then we could do Canadian whiskey, bourbon, Scotch, Irish. 4 is easy.
Yeah, that works.
If that's what you guys would like to see, that's what we should do. If you want me to put like an American whiskey in there, I can. Japanese, if somebody really, really wants me to, I'll think about it.
There's so many more
There's a lot of whiskeys
now that are getting into the...
India's doing it.
India, yeah, are getting into the whiskey game, and that is super cool, and I'm really excited about that, but...
We're not that familiar with them.
We couldn't do that range of a tasting all in one shot.
I think it's a bad idea to do 7 different whiskeys in one shot.
It doesn't matter about the alcohol. It matters that if you get beyond 3 when you're comparing and contrasting, your brain
it's hard to,
and your palate just can't keep up, and it just becomes a mess. So we would be doing a discredit to the whiskey. Speaking
of whiskey, we'll try to keep it to 4 and see what everybody says.
This has a beautiful color. It's
much darker.
Lovely golden.
Yep. It's a much darker color than most Jameson whiskey. Most Jameson whiskey is kind of on the light side.
Yeah. It reminds me of fall. Like a beautiful fall leaf.
Actually, this has a lot more aroma than most Jameson whiskeys.
But I'm getting that sweet.
It's almost Scotch-like.
Sweet.
It's almost Scotch-like, but definitely the sweeter, like the toffee notes.
And it's got a little bit of that
sugar
floral
cookie kind of thing.
Typically, for me, Irish whiskeys have more of a floral aroma than any of the other whiskeys. Mm-hmm. And the sweet with a little bit of floral, if I ignore all the wood notes that are coming through, remind me of honey, like a wildflower honey, and the sweet floral combo.
Now, this is the trick to tasting whiskey and experiencing it is smell it for a long time. You're going to start to formulate ideas of what it should taste like.
And if you enjoy your whiskey in a Glencairn, which...
They're probably the best glasses for tasting whiskey.
Yeah. The shape is going to help you funnel the aroma up into your nose. And you can swirl in the wider section at the bottom. And that's really going to let those aromas come out so you can enjoy them. Also,
use both nostrils.
Use both nostrils. You want to try having your mouth open a little bit because all of that is going to come into play of getting all the different nuances of the aroma.
Because interestingly enough, I get more sugar cookie on the left side today, and I'm getting more of the floral notes on the right. I don't know why. It just happens sometimes.
Yeah.
And yeah, we are those kind of people. We really do this. But this is where a lot of our experience in tasting things came from, is from whiskey many years ago.
Right. If you don't appreciate going this in depth into your beverages, I'm sorry. I feel bad for you. We don't do this. We don't do this to be hoity and pretentious. We do this because we honestly really enjoy this. This is like our jam.
I would never say that.
Getting those aromas and all the different nuances.
The only thing that's my jam is strawberry.
This has taken. Do we have a year mark on this?
Irish whiskey, I believe, is minimum 3 years. So. Okay.
They didn't give an age that I can find.
No, there's no age statement.
So in whiskey in general, typically, which
I can look it up while you're talking.
Can be variable. Normally, if it's aged an extended amount of time, they're going to give you the year on there. And what that age that they put on there is the shortest.
Yeah.
So
4 years.
There's all these confusions about whiskey, and we'll get to that in a different.
Oh.
And we'll get to that in a different tasting because that's really beyond the scope of this particular tasting. But there's lots of misconceptions about what the different terminology in whiskey means.
We'll talk about it. We need to do a whole video on it. But for today, we're talking about this one.
Okay. So
and it should be 4 years. Most Jameson whiskey is 4 years from what I said.
Stop my tangent.
Yeah, it's okay. It smells wonderful.
Oh, it does.
It does not smell like Irish whiskey. It smells more like a Scotch to me.
Yeah.
And that's not a bad thing.
No.
Just there's a distinct difference. Are you ready?
I'm ready. Cilantro? Is that the right one?
Wow. This is the closest thing to Scotch I have ever had an Irish whiskey taste like. This tastes, there's a certain Scotch that I'm thinking of that I can't. Oh, Adam would know which one I'm talking about. Wow, it's very, I'll forget about that part right now, but it's very rich, very velvety.
It has a bunch of the I don't know what to say, the harshness, like some of the abrasiveness, but you can still feel the underlying soft smoothness that's typical to most Irish whiskeys. And I find that really interesting. It's like a combination of a true Irish whiskey and a Scotch.
Yeah, it's not as friendly as most Irish whiskeys.
No.
That's the difference. It's much more aggressive. It's not like gonna knock you down kind of aggression, but it definitely has more powerful flavors than a lot of Irish whiskeys.
But because I am familiar with the different styles of whiskey, I can still sense that underlying note of the friendly, floral, nice and soft Irish whiskey.
Now, it's bourbon, sherry, and chestnut casks. I definitely get the bourbon.
Yeah.
Bourbon, without a doubt. That's that caramelized kind of smell and taste. The sherry cask, I normally don't like sherry cask stuff. I can taste, there's a weird flavor that comes from the sherry cask. I'm getting it at about the mid palate.
Yep.
Chestnut's the unknown. I don't think I've ever had anything aged in a chestnut cask before.
I don't think.
So that's unusual.
I don't think we've even done chestnut.
No. Oh, we did. We did. In our wood tests, we
One
used
of those
chestnut.
was a chestnut?
Yeah, it was kind of a non-flavor. It almost really didn't do much, which is making sense here. The sherry and the bourbon are definitely going to be more powerful.
So their chestnut might have been their mitigator,
And usually when they do a triple cask,
neutral.
they have a cask in bourbon, a cask in sherry, and a cask in chestnut. And at the end, they mix them together. So they may mix them in different amounts. We don't know.
Yeah.
But I definitely get the bourbon and some of the sherry. Now, I'm trying to not hold the sherry against them. I like Jameson. I don't want to.
We typically don't find as much enjoyment in the sherry aging.
Angel's Envy.
And I was definitely getting some Angel's Envy off this. Like when you were hunting for different whiskeys, I was going to say Angel's Envy.
Yep. Sorry to anyone that actually likes Angel's Envy. I've had 3 different bottles of it. One of them was okay. The other 2, no. Thank you very much. This does not have all the negatives of Angel's Envy. It has some of the sweet notes that come from the sherry cask, but it's not as prominent. The bourbon is definitely. This is much more like, if I really had to say what it is, it's a bourbon and Irish whiskey mix.
It does.
I was thinking
seem
Scotch,
like that.
but it's actually more like a bourbon. But the sherry notes are what's making me think Scotch.
I don't want to be that person, but
Yeah.
you always see that, right? And you know what you mean. You're trying to be nice. You're trying to be polite, but this feels kind of like a stay in your lane kind of scenario. And I hate saying that. I hate that phrase.
Yeah.
If,
I'm starting to have a little bit of an issue with this.
if you want to be a bourbon, be a bourbon. Just go full bourbon. If you
Well,
want
I
to be
got nothing wrong with
Irish,
bourbon casks.
be an Irish.
They didn't use a bourbon mash. It's still all.
Oh, I understand that. I just feel like I'm getting.
Do you want more?
No, I'm good. I'm getting some of the Irish notes,
They're being drowned out.
and they're being drowned out by the other things, and it just seems like,
That's mildly disappointing.
yeah.
And the more I'm drinking it, the more I'm smelling it, the sherry is starting to come through more and more and more. The sherry is taking prominence over.
So for us, that's an issue. But if you really enjoy sherry cask aged products, then this might be a lot more enjoyable for you than it is for us.
Unfortunately, it's starting to taste like an Irish version of Angel's Envy to me.
Yeah. I think if I were to go in the store and I saw this, goosebumps.
I got goosebumps.
Sorry, Jameson.
For Jameson. I got
know.
goosebumps on Jameson.
That's just wrong. So if I go back to the store and I see a bottle of Jameson and then I see a bottle of Jameson triple, I'm just going to grab the Jameson.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry, guys. I was so excited about this because
I know. We were both really excited. It's been sitting up there for a while. We've just been waiting to get to it, but it sounded really interesting.
I will agree to their assessment that it's smooth. I still feel like it's smooth. Not as smooth as a true Jameson, but it still has that Irish smoothness and softness is the term.
But it's missing the friendliness, the lightness, the sweet kind of things that you associate with an Irish whiskey.
And it does have layers.
And it has that.
But they're a little discordant. They're a little
It has that nasty sherry cask
pushed.
crap to it. It just. Now I have the aftertaste of it. Might have to drink something else just to wash it down. Now it's all sherry. That's all I can get now is sherry from it. It's just funny how that happens over time. As you drink something, certain things will stick out and certain things will
It
kind
still
of fade.
smells delightful.
Yeah, it smells. I think it smells a little bit better than it tastes.
I'm getting a lot of that caramel note on the aroma.
It's now come to the part of the show where we have to judge this, which means right now you should be looking at our scoring guide. And it basically goes 1 through 10 with the occasional 11. Do you have a number? All right. 1, 2, 3,
6.
5.5. Sorry, Jameson. This was a miss for me.
Yeah.
It started out good. Like, it actually had promise in the beginning. I was like, oh, wow, this is actually pretty nice. It's starting to be complex. There's a lot more going on. And then the more I got into it, the more I was like, this is so much of a departure from Irish whiskey that I'm not liking it. Like, don't get me wrong. If somebody poured me a glass of this, I wouldn't turn it away.
Right. I still drink it. That's why I gave it a 6.
But I'm not a huge fan.
But given the choice, I'm just going to choose Jameson.
Yeah.
Straight up Jameson.
If you know of a product that is legal and that we can find in the United States or, relatively simply that you would like to see us taste on the show, let us know in the comments below. If there's something that you bought that you'd like to ship to us, make sure you do it legally and make sure that it's a commercially made product in a sealed bottle, and we will happily try it on the show because we've had some people suggest things that we can't get in this country, but it's not illegal. You just can't get it here.
Sure.
And they wanted to ship it to us.
Just check and make sure that they have a distributor that can send it to us, and then you're good to go.
Exactly.
Also, don't forget that you can search this channel to see if maybe what you're wanting us to taste, we may already have done so.
In a couple of years, that might be even more important, but right now there's only like 12 videos. So yeah. But still, we might have. You never know. It could be one of those 12.
Tasted some crazy stuff.
That's
already.
right. We did. There's more crazy stuff to come. But as always, guys, thanks so much for watching and have a great day.
Bye-bye.